Normally, I'll open a video with some strewn out exposition relating to the topic at hand. Most YouTubers do. If you saw this video in your recommendations or are a longtime viewer, then you might be understandably confused. And with that in mind, I'll skip the foreplay just for today. That's because we have a very important topic to address. One that asks more questions than it provides answers. What if Chell had a Crunchwrap Supreme in the Aperture Science Enrichment Center? I was asked this remarkable question via a Twitter DM a few weeks back, and I found it to be a rather remarkable query. To answer this, we need to go broader in our understanding of how she would have access to a Crunchwrap to begin with. This idea would assume that Aperture Science has some form of Crunchwrap delivery system, likely dispensed by the Pneumatic Diversity Vent. However, were Crunchwraps available, it would also imply that there is a fully functional Taco Bell somewhere within the facility, which would also cook items like the Doritos Locos Taco and cheesy roll-up. These meals would likely be destroyed in transit, meaning that they couldn't be transported through pneumatic diversity vents, and would have to be prepared in numerous locations throughout the facility, suggesting that there may actually be multiple Taco Bells in the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. This isn't even a theory, this is actually true. In Test Chamber 5 of the first game, you can find the first Taco Bell present in the test chambers. Normally, this isn't visible to a player unless you type svcheats1 in the console, followed by TB mode 1, which, for the record, does not stand for tuberculosis. It's not even for show, either. You can actually go right into any of the restaurants and start assembling the tacos by yourself. Really, it's just a truly immersive experience. And it's remarkable that this entire branch of Portal, with the Taco Bell crossover, is limited only to Valve employees and a limited group of people outside of the company. Portal 2 shows us that the facility is largely self-sufficient, to the point in which it has factories that literally manufacture every single part, object, and chemical that's used in and out of the testing tracks. This idea would explain why you can often find Aperture branded cans of beans and cartons of milk in the Ratman dens. He's stealing them from the facility supply areas. With this in mind, it's unlikely that they import items like vegetables and beef. They simply grow and raise them underground. This brings us to an often forgotten wing of the facility, the Aperture Science Slow Tenderizing Center for Cattle and Adult Bulls. One of the newer projects in the facility, the Astacab, is unique as it houses the livestock that is used for the Taco Bell products. The grass that the cattle eat is grown through natural light pumped in from the surface, which has a density 1.99% greater than normal grass, making it all the more efficient to grow the cattle. Eventually, the beef, cheese, and vegetables makes its way to the various Taco Bell restaurants found throughout the testing tracks. The processing for these products is relatively straightforward. A tomato isn't cut, and neither is the lettuce. They're just delivered as is. Beef is a bit different though, because it's a far more complicated process to get from cow to seasoned beef. The actual process of slaughtering and cooking the beef is unknown, but it does beg the question as to how the meat itself is transported. If it's ground up, you can't move that through the vent system like tomatoes and lettuce, which are whole. It means that it would have to be packed in a meat packing room.
This is where the meat is smashed into bits. The meat packing room. The meat packing room. This is where your mother goes kaboom. The meat packing room. The meat packing room. This is where the meat is packed into cubes. Truck after truck, pour after pour, an operation entirely ceased by the flood of concrete.
We could not prevent it. The humans turned the prison into a luxury apartment complex.
And yet, it does not seem that complex to me. We are running out of time. Our client requires more meat. And with the reduced capacity to pack it, we may lose our livelihoods.
Yes, I understand the dire circumstances. Rest assured, we will meet our quota once again.
That's great. You're very funny. The meat packing room. The meat packing room. The meat
It's estimated that Aperture Science manufactures 365,000 pounds of beef in a year, which seems relatively excessive for maintaining Taco Bell's in the testing tracks. This ultimately begs the question as to how effective the chain's food would be on test subjects, namely Chell. When you enable TB mode in the console, one other noticeable change can be seen: the addition of a restroom in each test chamber. Okay, let's get this out of the way right now, because it's not because the whole Taco Bell makes you yourself, it's just an accessibility thing. It has nothing to do with the chain. Let me point out something important. When do you go to the bathroom in Portal? You don't. In Half-Life, you at least have an excuse because Gordon wears the poop suit. I don't think I need to elaborate upon what that means, but you're just wearing a jumpsuit in Portal. Like, I understand that the first game and second game only really take place over the course of a few days, but this is crucial. Test subjects need to be able to use the restroom. That's why Valve added this. That is what this is all about. Surely we can agree on this. Look, I've been doing this for nearly 3 years. I certainly don't think this is too much of an ask. You know what? I digress. The point I'm trying to make is that Chell will not herself if she eats a Crunchwrap. We never see her eat, and between the first game and the second game, she was asleep for a very long time. She needs sustenance, nutrition, and sure, are there better things than a Crunchwrap? Absolutely. Understand that Aperture Science is growing their food in-house. She's getting protein and fiber. Even if it's in the form of a Crunchwrap, it still counts. Prior to the opening of the Taco Bell and Aperture Science, all she could do was eat dust mites off of the floor. One might ask or make the insinuation that this entire idea doesn't make sense. After all, Aperture Science doesn't have any sort of food production or livestock in the main games, and Valve has never explicitly referenced it. Except it does. In concept art for Portal 2, we can clearly see not just chickens, but giant chickens, showing how the retail version of the game did in fact explore the idea of the facility housing livestock at some point during the game's development. So what's to say that they didn't have cows lying around chewing grass? Severance did it with goats in the exact same scenario, and that facility is multitude smaller than Aperture. Am I running out of ideas? No, not at all. I have an entire Trello loaded with videos I'm planning to make over the next few months. And I've been taking a brief hiatus because making these videos can be a lot. Though, when I saw this question in my Twitter DMs, I just could not resist the temptation to dig into this question. And frankly, I think I found some pretty cool stuff. Special thanks to Crinkle Crunch for access to this highly restricted branch of the original Portal. Without it, this video would not have been possible. And thank you so much for watching. This was a shorter video than usual, and I don't really have a good reason for it other than the fact that the time I can dedicate to YouTube is kinda limited. If you'd like to keep up to date with all of my projects and video updates, follow me on Blue Sky and Twitter, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Now, if you didn't, I need you to write a 250-word comment, no more no less, explaining why that is. Your feedback is incredibly important, and I don't take it into account. If you only care to know when I upload a video, then consider subscribing. As it says in my channel banner, I upload every 1 to 2 weeks, typically on Sundays. Lately it's been every 2 weeks, but hopefully I'll be getting that down to 1 again as I start to get some more free time. Which is good, because I swear I've heard about the meatpacking room before. I wonder what that's about.